Good morning, everyone. This is Kathy Mason from Mason Works Marketing and Conscious Business Zone. And I am very excited to introduce you, my friend and amazing visionary, Katherine Skaggs. Hi, Katherine. How are you?
Good. How are you, Kathy?
Great, great. So Katherine does these amazing, let me grab my picture, does incredible art. But one of the ways that I met her was that I was fortunate enough to have her, is this the best one? My lighting wasn't very good in my house, but this was done probably 8 years ago of me. And she started with a dark background kind of, and then built it out. So it's a shamanic painting. It's got layers and layers of messages in it. And so it's a soul portrait. So Katherine, could you explain what a soul portrait is? So, and everyone, you should have one. Mine's old. I need a new one probably, but.
Well, soul portraits are these great portals to your spirit. And when I got guidance to do these, it was all about connecting and reflecting someone's soul essence back to them, not necessarily their aura or their personality or just their physical self, but truly connecting to their essence. And the guidance I got was that if you would give me your intention, your heart's desires, it helps open up a gateway, basically. And through that gateway, we're connecting to frequency, to your soul song, to imagery, to color, to vibration, to symbol, to story, all to help you remember and recall and connect to that amazing essence of yours, which is all about love. It's all about your gifts. It's all about your potentiation. And it brings healing. And these are living paintings. So Kathy, yours is still vibrating, sending you lots of good juju, supporting you on your journey.
Yes. Well, what I was surprised when I got mine, well, there were lots of epiphanies with it, but was that since I'm in communication, the energy was coming out my throat chakra, but not out my mouth. So that it was well, first of all, the heart obviously is the biggest thing, but then that it could be communication that's printed or video or something that doesn't necessarily have to come directly from here, which is fine with me because I'm in communication because I want to learn how to communicate better. I mean, I think that's why a lot of people do what they do, is they want to keep growing within it. So, but the new soul portraits that I got to see, and I just love every one of them. You have light language in it, or it looks like light language in it. So when did that start coming through?
I'm not really sure how long ago that started to channel in. Definitely, certain individuals evoke that with the communication and the energetic downloads. It's just another symbol system and typically I've found an activation and a memory code to support someone getting more of that awareness into their field, into their whole library, like helping them remember. And it's not necessarily a left brain situation where you're going to interpret it that way. It's more like I get the essence and the feeling of it. And then I invite people to also meditate, open-eyed gazing meditations with their portraits to consciously connect and download that information. So it's in the field and, it just starts coming through for the right individuals. It's supposed to happen.
I love this because it really is a remembering, isn't it? I mean, the right, and especially right now with the energies being available for us to get out of our box and get to a bigger level of who we really are, then this is like a trigger to help you do that, right? So, Katherine, how did you get this skill to be able to do this? I mean, people are on here, Sony saying, wow. I mean, it's so amazing. You guys, you have to do this. But it's so amazing. How did you stumble? I mean, were you already an artist? I can see the one behind you. I know your cards and other things, but How did you get this gift? Were you already an artist?
I've been an artist ever since I can remember picking up a pencil. And I started drawing as soon as I could get my hands on crayons, probably. And when I was 14, I began painting in oils and then later watercolors. But it really wasn't until 2003 that I started working with acrylics. However, in the process, in my mid-20s, I started moving toward my spiritual, intuitive part. I actually went to mystery school in my late 20s.
Oh.
And I had a metaphysical store in the 1990s. And when I did, I had Alex Gray's work and Susan Seton Boulet's work through calendars and publishing companies. I had visionary art all around me. And I remember being around it thinking, I think I'm supposed to do something like this. And so I started doing some prayers and asking my guides, because I'd been trained intuitively. I just didn't want to sit in the hot seat back then, you know? And so I had like 9 psychics who worked for me. I'm like, I don't want to sit in the seat. I'll teach, but I don't want to do that. So I did a prayer to my guides and asked them, how does my art, my spiritual path come together? And I didn't hear anything for about a year, which kind of cracks me up. And so probably about 1993, I remember being in the store. I had a store named Dreamweaver in Fort Collins. A lot of people know it. And at that time, I think I was just walking around the store doing some of my work for the day. And inwardly, I heard soul portraits. And I knew it as clearly as if you spoke it right to my face. And I knew exactly what it meant. I knew the entirety of it when I heard it. And I thought, oh, shit. Like, oh no, I have to sit in the hot seat now. I have to not only paint a painting, but I have to be the channel, and there's story and words and symbols, and I'll be talking about it. And it somewhat petrified me at that point in my life. And so I've been on this adventure, which I think we all have adventures in life, to really listen to our soul song, to trust ourselves, to make a mark with our skill sets, with our desires, with our whatever our gifts are, is to say yes to them. So I went through a series of things that got me to doing this full time. I actually went through a dark night of the soul afterwards. I had some health issues. I closed my store. I got really sick and I didn't work for a year. Wow. And then when I went back to work, I was working in corporate thinking, what the heck am I doing here? This doesn't fit. But I had a journey to go through, and I didn't paint for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And that was a really interesting time period of self-reflection and cleaning out and coming home to myself. So in 2003, I actually started a second store with a friend, and I got the opportunity with Shiloh McLeod, or Shiloh Sophia as her name is. She's a wonderful goddess artist out on in California, and a dear, dear soul friend. She came in and saw some of my work, and she said, I'm not here to help you open your store. I'm here to get you painting again. So everything is synchronistic. We call everything into our lives as we go along, especially when we're setting our prayers and intentions. The universe answers, and she was an answer to prayer. And she got me painting again with a 5-minute meditation. She got me into my studio, which I always had, even if I wasn't painting. And she amazingly got me out of the meditation, got a big old canvas, got these paints out, put some on the palette, put a brush in it, and handed it to me and said, paint. And I'm like, okay. And so it started happening again, and it just started downloading. And I remember Shiloh said, you're really confident. And I said, I've been doing this since forever. I just haven't done it in 5 years.
Right.
So as I started to paint again, the soul portraits and the divine feminine started to flood onto canvas. And I had some experiences where I realized I was working on a painting that was abstract, and I had to put a face in it. And I was just exploring. And I realized it was my soul portrait.
Of course.
And I'm like, oh, well, excuse my language, shit, I have to do this. I can't ignore this or I'll get my butt kicked again. And so about 2003, it started flooding in, and I said yes. And I said yes in a very definitive way, because I knew it was my path and it's time that I got out of my own way. And since then, I've done thousands of portraits, met thousands of people, whether it be this 1 hour basic process or even bigger commissions, I find that everyone who sits for me reminds me of who I am.
Right.
As much as my job is there to hold that space and reflect their beauty, their divinity, and their story, so they can really claim their amazingness and refocus their lives back to that.
Well, I thought it was interesting you started dark and then built it. So that's probably the shadow. That's probably the all-encompassing information. And again, this was 8 years ago, so your technique might be different now. But I was fascinated. And it wasn't that I went, oh, that doesn't look like sometimes you have characters done at the metaphysical shows and stuff, and you go, that's not really me, or I don't resonate with this thing. Right away, it was like, whoa, where do I hang this? This is powerful. Should I have it in my bedroom? Should I have it in my office? Where? Because it had a frequency, a recognizable frequency for me.
Yeah.
But I didn't quite know. I didn't understand it. I understand it more now than I did when I first got it. So I want to let you know, Trish DeBrito Young is saying, yes, music for me. Yep, it's when we jump to really dive in, ... scary, ... I'm just on the brink. So you know what, Trish, got to do it. And the other thing is, I don't think you have to have these do it or spirit makes you sick anymore. I think you can just do it. I don't think the consequences are the same. At least I haven't found that. I'm feeling after 2012 that we get to just do it. So I have a long one to read to you, if that's okay, Katherine. It's from Zach Bergen. It says perhaps best for offline later, but Frida influence ? He wants to know if
Kahlo. I love Frida Kahlo, but she was not necessarily in my purview. I've actually come to know more and more about her in the last probably 10 years of my life. I think she's an incredible female artist who was absolutely a soul artist in her expression. Incredible respect for her. I think I came in, my own door of sorts. It was Alex Gray's work that triggered me, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, I absolutely think I need to do that. And then Susan Seaton-Belay, she's not on the planet anymore. She's amazing spiritual visual artist. And there was a depth in her work also that triggered me. I want to also mention a beautiful artist who's passed over now that I got to spend some time with many years later after my store. Her name was Meinrad Craighead. And she was also this mystic artist that I met when she was 70. But that was in 2006. I went to Rome with her and Lydia Rule to see it through the eyes of the goddess pre-Christianity.
Wow.
And it was amazing because in the 90s, I carried her artwork through Pomegranate Press in my store I had. So there's this amazing weaving. I think we all who are attracted to, who stimulate us, we've got this huge library, vibrationally, frequency, and that each one of our adventures seeds and connects.
Right.
And we're attracted to, we need to pay attention to and see what is our soul song that's being stimulated when we see these other people's artwork.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I want you to know that Barb Bonamasso, who's a dear friend of mine, said, can't tell you how much this process helped with my grieving and awakening. Thank you, Katherine.
I love you, Barb.
Yeah, that was in Chicago, I think. Back probably 6 years ago. So, yeah. So, I mean, you don't realize how powerful this tool could be for you, audience. It's truly, all of her art is quite beautiful. And you can see a piece that's right behind Katherine right now that is part of one of your, isn't that part of a tarot deck?
Actually, no, I did that piece after I go and study with shamans in the jungles of Peru also.
Uh-huh.
And that piece is called Owl, Shaman, Jaguar, Medicine. And it's on my marketing materials. It's become a signature piece for me. And I actually did it after I spent a week in the jungle in Peru with the shamans there. And I had these visions, and I came home thinking, wow, I don't know what happened. I looked at my journal, I'm like, oh my gosh, absolutely know what happened. And I painted that piece.
Wow. But as far as if people don't live close, you do travel, correct? To do you were just in Austin.
I was just in Austin, and I go to Chicago almost every year, sometimes down to Florida, down to Houston area. I've been around quite a few places, Nebraska. And yet, if I don't come to your area of the world, Minnesota I've gone to, you can have a portrait because the internet is so amazing now. We can connect. I've shipped multiple paintings to Sweden and South Africa and to the UK and all over the world. I've shipped soul portraits. So someone is able to basically sign up online, and then if they would like to join me live for their portrait, they get on Zoom platform.
Perfect.
And we do a session as if you were just sitting right with me. And the cool thing about the online stuff, if you do it long distance, I now record the session. So you have a video of your session in addition to the session, and then I ship the painting out.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Noelle and Bob Warner are on the line too, and they say hello from Sunrise Ranch. Love your work. And Zach says, yes, that's the connection, soul art. So Katherine, I think that's fantastic that you're using Zoom. I was one of the beta testers for Zoom, so I think I'm still on it at the beta tester price, which is a good deal. But I've been surprised how much frequency can be carried through this digital process. It really does capture it, and it transforms the other person on the other end. So I think that would be fantastic. So you guys don't let the proximity to Katherine, not being in Colorado and in Fort Collins, don't let that stop you from having this experience. And I have to say, I've given the soul art, the soul portraits as a gift many times. And there's nothing like it. If people, that you don't even have to understand it, but you get it later because it is you. It's like an anchoring so that you can be fully you. Is that a good way to explain it?
Yeah, and it's all frequency, as we talk about frequency a lot in our world. I've seen people heal right in front of my eyes.
Really?
And I knew that when I was given guidance for this, that this offered healing energy right here, right now. And not, besides the insights we get with our intellect, vibrationally, I see hearts open. I see people shed their egos right in front of me. I remember early on, I had a gal come to me during a fair, and I used to do these mini portraits as I was getting started. And she'd gotten one. Then I was apparently in a fair another month later, and she brought her brother who got an hour portrait. She's like, can I do that? And I said, yeah. And I said, have you made it? What's happened since we did your portrait? And she said, oh my gosh. And she had moved, and she had started a master's program and all this stuff. And I'm like, I can't say because the portrait, but it was part of the messages that just seemed to go along. So she was ready for another piece because you can have more than one. Because oftentimes, your soul is so big. It's like you give me a glimpse, and it can be so huge, but it's a doorway into this vaster self that you have. So anyway, she sat down, and as she did, I kept getting I didn't know who she was, right? So I kept getting this energy of a medicine woman. And I know I didn't probably talk as much as I do now, but that's coming through this rather native kind of.
You haven't talked at all. It was sort of like, I wonder what's happening.
Right. A lot more story comes out of my mouth now. So that's loosened up. Anyway, as she closed her eyes and tears were coming down her face, I said, can I ask you what's going on? She said, every time you move your breath, she's an empath. every time you move your brush, I can feel the healing in my field. And she was letting go. And there was she was an empath, she was a nurse, and she was a channel. And I found that out in the process of being with her in that second painting. And it was real. I worked with her many, many more times to channel in specific frequencies and not just, a generalized piece. So she was able to, it was really fun to work with her because she was conscious. And she could use this as a tool to bring in various energies to work with very specifically through her intention. And then I basically hold the brush and your soul gives me everything to paint the painting.
That's fantastic. And I wanted everyone to know also that you have lots of other art. Jade Rader shows your art in the background of when she does a lot of Facebook Lives, and Journeys for Conscious Living has quite a bit of your pieces hanging, big pieces hanging on the wall. Someday maybe I'll have one of those. It's amazing whatever you're drawn to, whether it's goddess energy or the archangels. You have some amazing archangel kind of images. When I was up last time, and I haven't been to your studio for a while, but you had some, not life size, but they were big pieces of art. So are you finding different beings are coming through now to support us in these times? Because the energy is very different now than it was.
Yes, it's kind of interesting. It's like, so I did the Mythical Goddess Tarot with Sage Holloway in 2000. I guess it was 2006 to 2008. I painted like 78 paintings, and we gave birth to that deck in 2008. So that was, all the goddesses and then tarot archetypes based on the divine feminine. And I had been channeling in divine feminine mama energy for a while, plus the Christ energy, the Buddha, various ascended masters. But in the last couple of years, I've gotten the urge to do an Ascended Masters deck. And Sage, who's my author, she passed in 2015. And my dear, dear friend and co-creative, she and I talked before she left. I said, we still have this Ascended Masters thing to do, right? She said, yeah. I said, so, while you're on the other side, you're still going to help me, right? She said, yeah.
Oh, cool.
So I actually have deck Masters of Light Wisdom Oracle I'm working on now. Actually, I've kind of taken a little hiatus with some things in my life, but I'm getting back on it. It's a 44 card Oracle deck. And if anyone wants to take a sneak peek,
yeah,
mastersoflightwisdom.com.
mastersoflightwisdom.com. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the comments.
I expected that I would have it done last year, but life, busy, a car accident, a few other things. And so timing wise, it's going to be coming out. I would imagine I'll get it to press probably by end of the year, maybe first of next year. But it has angels, and it has some Mayan archetypal energies, and it has, divine feminine beings. So to answer your question in a big way, these are some reflections of some of that energy coming in. And I find we have so much help. Yeah. We have amazing, amazing help who are always, always, always here. And what we need to do mostly is just simply focus on that. Make sure our attention is on the light, on the divine, asking for who can be here to support us in raising our vibration. But these are some images here and a little preview of what's coming with this deck. And yeah.
Wonderful. That's so cool. So I want to let you know, Sony Ade has said, I just went to check out your page. Wow, big capitals. Your work is mind-blowing. Heart, 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 heart. And then Noelle and Bob said, Nina Patrick introduced us to Catherine's work in Santa Fe. Very beautiful. So, and then you did a live painting on the Good of the Whole, did a launch. And I was inviting everyone because it was fascinating that they were just exquisite. I think you did 2 or 3 of them, right? How many did you do?
Let's see. I think I did 4.
Oh, you did? Wow. I remember
I'm
2.
trying to remember. It seems like we did the 4. I'll have to go back and look.
One of them was like sitting Buddha. They were magnificent. And she did them live, just like we're talking right now, on Facebook, where the canvas is on like one side where I am. And she's just painting it. And you can see it. She's in the zone, really. And it's just coming through her and onto the canvas. And it was less than an hour or about an hour. And they were, I loved what you did. Are those part of this next deck, or?
I don't think any of those will be in this deck at this moment. But if you want to see some of them, my YouTube page, first of all, if you go to The Good of the Whole, if I think you can search for my name, you should be able to pull up all those videos on Facebook at The Good of the Whole.
I'll put them in the comments again. Those were so, you guys, if you want to see, or if you want to sense out if this is for you, you'll see how pure this whole process is. There's no, Catherine's out of the way, and her brush and the paint are doing it. It's so cool.
Thank you. Give me permission to do this with you. So there are a couple of live paintings on my YouTube page.
Okay.
For Katherine Skaggs.
Okay.
So there's going to be some goddess tarot readings and things like that, but there is a soul portrait demo on there, and that's on my website too. That's a 5-minute short that I did quite a few years ago, and it sees from nothing on the canvas to the finished painting in time lapse.
Okay, well, I'm on that page. Let me see if I can find I don't see
on the
YouTube.
Come down to soul portrait demo. It's about 6 down.
Soul portrait. Schedule your soul portrait benefits. I don't see oh, here it is. It's on the right up top. That's right. Okay, so let me grab that and put that link in for you, so you can see it. I'm sorry, the way that we're in Be Live, I can't. Next time when we do this, I'll have it so that there's another opportunity to show it in it. Okay, but right now I'll just put it here.
Also, this art is used very specifically to do healing work. What was it, in 2017 when we had the shootings in Las Vegas? It was such a intense, not that we haven't had a lot of these since, event. I was called to do a live painting on Facebook at the time to bring healing to this community, to bring healing to all of us. And that actually is also on the YouTube channel. Is from October 2nd, 2017. And it's a 2-hour channeled session bringing in some healing energy. And it's got conversation in it, as well as the channeling conversational, as well as the unfolding painting. But there's lots out that people can find.
So, Katherine, do you teach how to do this too? I mean, I know that you're a shaman, so you do work with people one-on-one. Do you do coaching and using art, or how do you work with people?
Oh, I do all kinds of things. Everything from soul portraits and spirit guide paintings to shamanic healing work. I don't have a class scheduled right now, but I teach an intuitive painting class, and occasionally every year or two I'll do a women's retreat, which is 4 days immersion into the intuitive shamanic painting process, which we did, I guess it wasn't last year's, year before last. No, it was last year. And, it's a pretty cool process. I've been getting requests to do another dive into the intuitive painting process. And next year I've got a course that's going to go into mystery school teachings blended with shamanism. To really go deeper into waking up your ability to really go into subconscious mind or the inner levels of consciousness, We're just going to roll that out next year to give people a deeper process where they could actually get to do this themselves.
So you guys, just think if you could actually do something like this by opening up your intuition, that you could actually see no words, just beauty, just the art, activating the essence of who you are, and no ego, no thought, just pure connection to who you really are. So here we go. We got Noella Bob, intuitive painting class. We need that at CCC next year. Our theme is intuition. You want to come to CCC with us?
Sure. You give me those dates. We'll see.
I will. You can put on your calendar right now. Cheryl Stagman's here. She went to CCC. Oh, and Barb Bonamasso, she's at CCC. She says, yes, intuitive painting class. I'm in. And Nanette Nash says hello. So we're starting to get more and more people that really are understanding the beauty of what you're offering. And so, Katherine, real quick, because I keep putting your website up so people can go there. I will put it also in the comments or the header of the video. But how do you see? I know you're a way shower. You're a visionary and a way shower, and I feel very lucky that I met you so long ago, because thank you so much. How do you see these times? How do you see all of this? Oh, they're saying June 3rd through the 7th, 2020. So when we get done, you can look at these comments. But how do you, I'm seeing that the veils are gone, but we don't know how to operate. We don't know how to expand into, so there's a lot of people. I'm using the dimensions as a just words, because I don't know what else to call it, but there's a lot of people that are in 4D that are bounced back 4D, 5D. And it's like way showers like you are showing them how to be in 5D. The 3D, I'm not sure what's going to happen there. But most of the people I'm working with are they're working on holding their 5D also or higher, and they're way showers to bring the people out of polarity. But it's Jade's here now. Aloha, wonderful of expansion. Yeah, hi Jade. I'm so glad you came. So all I'm saying is, how do you see these times? And as a steward, which you are, of this, how do you see us moving into this next phase?
That's a big question, and a simple and a not simple question all at the same time. Yeah. First of all, individually, for those waking up, for those wanting to be shifting upwards, to be conscious, to be in harmony, it's time, first of all, to say, I take 100% responsibility for my life. And that's a great thing, and that they can actually get in touch with their soul song, and that they can actually focus in the light. Mm-hmm. So it's, we're in this, the Hindus would call it the Kali Yuga.
Right.
These end times, these highly polarized energies. And I find that grounding is hugely important, but I ground down and I ground up.
Right.
I ground to heaven and earth, and to learn to be still, because we're so active. I find, stop engaging problems. It's a huge human personality issue. Right? I got to fix it. And it's like, what if you don't have to fix it? What if you, one of the techniques, or I guess is exercises that one of my teachers taught me a number of years ago, of how to engage in higher frequencies and in creating your life in a harmonious manner, is to work with curiosity and the energy of a child, to stimulate the quantum field, to, match upwards in frequency to what if it's only better, instead of, oh my God, this is horrible, what do we do? And So we can't think in the same way that we created the problems from. And we have to get out of even our thinking mode.
Right,
And
right,
that's that left brain linear part of ourselves that limits us.
right,
And
right.
so dropping into our creative, childlike nature through curiosity, through taking space so you're not always busy, which, how big an issue is that for most people?
Oh, yeah, yeah, just breathing, you know.
Breathe, lay on the earth, chill out, go be in nature. You know, this journey in the shamanic world for the last 12 years or plus has been such a rich addition to my metaphysical training years ago. And I grew up with a farm and an acreage that we lived on, you know, so I naturally knew on some level that nature was a healer. So we need to engage the natural world as part of our support system of moving into, you know, in shamanism, we talk about ordinary reality, which is like this lower frequency 3D polarity, and non-ordinary reality, which is that higher dimensional awareness that all is spirit, that all is divine, that all is high frequency. And so when we connect to nature, it's a great way to reset our physical selves and our energy bodies and to vibe up. It's what shamans do around the world, is vibe up. We got to get out of this emotional roller coaster that makes us crazy.
That's beautiful. So Jade Raider put, I pull the child card in all suits of the mystical goddess tarot weekly. So she's talking about the innocence and the wonder part of it. So Katherine, I agree with a lot of this. It says Zach put, the clearest way into the universe is through a forest wilderness. John Muir. So you can see, and that's why we live in Colorado. We've got a playground right, you know, within walking or driving distance. We can be right there and breathing that pine air and the rocks around us. The other thing is that I what you alluded to is this idea of that everything's for you rather than against you. The victimization paradigm doesn't have to be in existence anymore.
Yeah, we have to step out of it consciously.
That's right. That's right. I think that's what the biggest part of, for me, what I'm seeing is these masters. I'm very lucky I get to work with so many masters like you and get them out, get their work out in the world. And the thing I'm finding is that whole idea of releasing the childhood trauma from 3 to 7, which is really just stinking thinking. It's just what we told ourselves about something that happened. But all sorts of different modalities are showing up to do that. And what you're doing is you're not even going there. You're going to the real you and mirroring it, which is hopefully what everyone's doing that's in as a master, is mirroring and empowering the person, because that's the other key, is the self-empowerment.
You know, since it's about vibration, not just like you say, stinking thinking, one of the things vibrationally I find, especially doing shamanic work and the healing work with the art and all of this, is that if we've had a trauma, imagine that this world is a world of imprinting. Singing songs. Imagine you're born as a song. How cool is that? You're born as an image, a song, a sound, a vibration that creates form. And if you've had fright or fear or trauma in your realm, whether it's exactly to you, say a fall or a terrible negative word or a horrific event, that imprints your perfect song, your vibration. Right. So it's not just, you just can't think your way out of this. You can do practices, but part of this journey to healing is how do you lift yourself up vibrationally so that these imprinted areas can be calmed, right. They can turn to harmony. So, you know, some of the traditions that I've studied in, we sing into you to bring that vibration back for healing. So it's like put the vibration as sound healing. Art in its vibration, its color, its symbol, all of that, put beauty around you. Right. In every which way, form, in every way it vibrates to you, and you start finding you come back to a harmony, you come back to peace, and then you can vibrate upwards, and you're not trying to fix all those places that were distorted or contracted.
And when you get triggered by those things, then you say, thank you. I realize I still have a little more to do on it. It's not that you get thrown into the story and the tailspin. It's actually, oh, it's still there. It's almost like it's your friend, because you know it was part of your soul lesson that you chose before you embodied. And it's just showing up in whatever form it does until it's done, I call that the hero's journey, when you push all the way through it. And I think that's why we're here. I think that's the experience here. I want you to know, Jade said, remembering the wholeness is right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I want to add another little anecdotal thing that I learned over the years. I had a great painter teacher, Wilbur Newald, and when I was 26 at the Kansas City Art Institute. I don't know where he is at this point, is this amazing Cezanne-like artist and painter. And of course is very realistic, and look and see and adjust, and look and see and adjust. And I remember Wilbur always coming in and looking over my shoulder to see if I had the proportions right and all that. And I'd been painting this oil painting that was a still life, just getting it to pop. It was looking great. And he comes, looks over my shoulder, and the dreaded conversation was, okay, this is looking good, but you need to move it up about 2.5 inches up on the canvas for a better composition. I'd already worked 100 hours on it, I bet.
Oh my God.
And I just remember thinking, you know, expletive. But I took a deep breath, and I went back in, and we moved I moved the composition up and redid it. And what it taught me is, one of the teachings I give all the time, is that it taught me to see more clearly, not only on that canvas and composition, to be willing to let go what I was attached to see more clearly, and to create a better composition. And that it took a lot of focus and work, but it was a much more beautiful painting. So what if you weren't willing to move 1.5 inches or 2 on your life?
Right.
What if you were willing to let go of the attachments you have on the way it is now, and that you saw more clearly, you experienced more clearly, and it was more harmonic and beautiful because you were willing to be flexible and to refocus. That's a huge piece.
And that's the childlike presence that you're talking about, it where you stay in wonder rather than in judgment. You're wondering about it, right? When someone says something, if everything that's in your field is for you, not against you, then that is a gift for you to be able to see and choose, right? You get to still choose.
Yeah, I've got a little anecdote or a acronym for you. It's called GLAW: gratitude, love, and awe.
Oh, perfect. GLAW. So everyone, we're going to be signing off here, but I want you all to see, this is my soul painting that's 8 years old, that's still talking to me, that Katherine did, that's on the wall in my bedroom. I don't have it at the office. I probably could, or maybe. So Katherine, do people get another one? I think Jade got another one.
Yeah, I've had people numerous portraits, especially after they've gone through a period of time and they want to address a new issue or have a new intention. Like I said about this one person I had earlier, she's probably got 7 pieces from me, plus some original art, because she specifically used it in different areas of her life to bring in different aspects. When I first started doing this, I got the metaphor that your soul is like a diamond with all these facets. Mm-hmm. When you set an intention, your heart's desire, we move through one facet to give you this landscape and image reflection now. But there's so many more facets that you can explore if you wish to.
Oh, perfect. So Noelle and Bob said GLAW, gratitude, love, and awe. So they put that down. And then Jade says, I've had 4 souls done. a guide, and my shaman soul. Wow. Okay. And Zach said, what about a portrait for all of Earth to be posted everywhere? Well, one of those ones you did for the good of the whole was the Earth. Okay, so Zach, I'll send you that link once I find it. And then Noelle and Bob said, children are authentic. That's why they are so amazing. And then Jeanette Nash said, yes, stay in your childlike wonder. So we're singing to the choir here on Facebook Live. So, oh, well, Katherine, thank you so much. I make sure that, 2012, Jade put. What is 2012?
Probably. I think that might be when I came to her location in Denver, well, not Denver, where Broomfield, and did portraits. I bet that's when we did your portrait.
Okay. Okay, mine was later, I think, than that. But she says 2009.
Okay. So I don't. This a while.
I'm not good with it. I have to figure out what else happened at the same time to figure out what year anything is. So, well, anyway, thank you so much. I hope that people that are on this thread, if you think other people in your life might enjoy knowing about Katherine's work, please share this. Oh, Barb put 2014 on hers. So now they're putting what year they had theirs. That's great. So pictures are in the comments. Oh, so they're putting, oh, how cool. I can't wait to see the comments. But thank you all so much. And really give yourself the gift of this or a loved one. You will be surprised how much it supports you. And this is the time to show up in your glory as a piece of the divine puzzle. And this could help you do that in a very easy, painless, delightful way. So thank you so much, Katherine. I hope to see you soon in person.
I do too.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we're going to end and sign off now. Thank you everyone for joining us, and please share if you think other people would benefit. Bye-bye. Thank you.